Shut up and sit down.
People of the internets, welcome. This is episode 27 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast about two brothers who are former WWE employees that happen to like wrestling and the video games.
Yep.
We are El Murpho and D-Murph, and we are here to talk wrestling at first. Then, later, come the video games.
Yes.
Yes, the video game. You're emulating it with a controller, which nobody can hear on the audio version, but I'm telling them so that way they know what's being said.
Yeah, I'll get some good Foley work in.
Can you not? You're playing it like you're some guy on Law & Order SVU. Like, oh look, they're playing video games. Oh, I died on the hard level. Freaking television not being able to properly represent video games.
Yep.
Anyway,
Happens.
we are starting things off in the world of WWE, as we always do.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a review of TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs.
And thankfully not stairs.
Yes, and thankfully not stairs, because God, that was a dumb idea.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I mean, it was an interesting concept, but they did it with Big Show and Eric Rowan. So
a
that
stairs
kinda
match.
killed it.
Yeah, not the two really brightest stars out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are going to start things off with our TLC 2017 review. First of all, overall thoughts?
Overall, I'm trying to remember the show, honestly, which may say something about it.
Yeah, it was okay. It was good.
I mean, the main issue I had with the show was you had two title matches. The Cruiserweight title match and the women's title match. And neither of those matches really weren't that great.
They weren't that good.
And then all the other titles were either not on the show at all or involved in the main event with no titles on the line.
That's true. Well, yeah. That's what happens when your Universal Champion is Bork Laser and only shows up every couple months.
And it was also interesting, by the way. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but it's kind of interesting that we saw an actual real life murder on the show.
Who got murdered?
Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah,
they literally murdered him, but we'll get into that later. The crowd literally started chanting.
That's fine.
The crowd was literally chanting, "That's a murder."
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to the main event. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into the first match, which was a real barn burner between Alicia Fox and Sasha Banks.
I didn't even see it.
If by barn burner you mean, it's kind of a paint by the numbers match, nothing too exciting.
If by a barn burner you mean they could take the tape of that match and throw it into a barn that's on fire and no one would care, then yes.
Oh, that was mean. But not inaccurate, I guess. Anyway, Sasha won, which we both predicted would happen. Really nothing to really say about that match. So we're going to move on to the tag team match of Brian Kendrick and Gentleman Jack Gallagher, or just Jack Gallagher, or Jack the Ripper Gallagher, whatever they're calling him nowadays.
Yeah, Corey Graves calls him Gentleman Jack the Ripper, but other than that, people just call him Jack Gallagher.
Mm-hmm. And they faced off against Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann, and you predicted that one right. Alexander and Swann won. I thought with Jack Gallagher, with his heel turn, they'd maybe try to build him up with a win, but nope. They want to instead try to build up the teamness and chemistry, I guess, between Alexander and Swann.
Well, I think it's a combination of, I know a lot of people on Twitter have been saying that they want to see Cedric Alexander go for the title, so they might be trying to build for Alexander against Enzo.
I mean, I would be for that. Like, I feel like Cedric Alexander had so much heat or so much momentum coming out of that Cruiserweight Championship, and then they put him in there, and they stuck him in a terrible angle with Noam Dar and Alicia Fox, and he's just been
he also got injured.
Yeah, that's true. That won't help at all.
But the other reason I had a feeling that they would win is because, as Rich Swann's song says, they can't handle this.
Can you handle this? Can you handle this? Can you handle this? Can you handle this? Can you handle this?
Yep.
But yeah, they won. Hopefully that means good things for Alexander and Rich Swann. It would be interesting if Cedric Alexander if they build a good program and Cedric Alexander is the one who eventually maybe takes the title off of Enzo, and then maybe you get Jack Gallagher in there. Maybe, elevate the guys who were in the Cruiserweight Classics. That way maybe one day there would be a shred of hope that 205 Live is not an indefinite demotion and instead could be a pathway to actually making it onto the main roster, like NXT is.
Yeah, and that's something that, side note, kind of upsets me about Neville, is because of the fact of if you had Neville still there and you treated him the right way, with you bringing in Enzo with all the heat that he's bringing with him, because he's a monster heel and he's drawing numbers, and now you got Kalisto on the show. You keep doing that and you build up these other guys, it could be a very good show that a lot of people tune into.
Yeah, but the problem is that Neville didn't want to be on there anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think Neville wanted to lose clean. I think Neville wanted to be either in the title picture for the Cruiserweight Championship or pushed up to the main roster, which he rightfully deserves because, very few people, if any, are on the Neville level.
Yeah, exactly. He was better than, I'm going to say, probably 90% of the roster, and he's just thrown on there. And, I mean, to be fair, he made me interested in the Cruiserweight division. So, he did his job there, but he deserved more, but whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, we move on. The match itself was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match.
Like, nothing spectacular, but it was good. It was fun.
Nothing spectacular?
Oh, I can't remember anything off the top of my head.
One thing
what am I forgetting?
You're forgetting how Kendrick had Cedric Alexander in the captain's hook, and it was broken up by Rich Swann doing a Phoenix splash on him.
Yeah, that I forgot.
And then right into the lumbar check.
That little chestnut. Yeah. That little thing. Whatever. Phoenix splashes. Seth Rollins tries them all the time.
Yeah. Key part of that is try.
Yeah. Why do you think I said it like that?
Yeah.
He tries it. He hits it really good on his favorite opponent, the canvas.
Yeah. It reminds you. I remember how Neville did a Phoenix splash at WrestleMania, and I think he missed. I don't remember. And then the very next night on Raw, Rich Swann was in the match, and he did a Phoenix splash from the second rope. And I believe he has since done a Phoenix splash standing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's a very, very crazy little flippy man.
Yes, he does all of the flips. Do a flip.
Do a flippy thing.
Then we move on from one Cruiserweight match to another, the Cruiserweight Championship match of Kalisto versus Enzo Amore. And like I said and predicted, Enzo takes the title away from Kalisto because you got to build up that heat, and Kalisto went and got his reign.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the main reason they did that was, we need some way to get past the storyline of if anyone attacks Enzo while he's champion initially with it, they would never get a chance to challenge for the title. And secondly, that they would get fired. So like, hey, we'll have him lose the title, so that's null and void, and then we'll give him the title back. So
also, I hate to admit it, but Enzo is kind of the hot, like he's the heel with the most heat right now.
Oh yeah.
So like you get
if
you keep Kalisto with him. If you keep Kalisto with the title, technically Enzo lost his rematch, so like he doesn't have the right to challenge. Then who do you throw in there as a heel? Like Kendrick and Gallagher do not have the heat with them right now. They're not built up enough to challenge him.
At the same time, you don't have to use the automatic rematch to get a match. He could always do some underhanded, dirty tactics to get under Kalisto's skin. He's like, I want Enzo in a match, and that would lead to it. It's a usual heel way of getting a title match.
Yeah.
Which I'm guessing the Enzo and Kalisto storyline may be coming to a little bit of an end, at least for the title.
An early end.
Yeah, because did you hear about what happened this week?
No, I did not hear about what happened this week.
Apparently, from what I've seen, Kalisto had his rematch on 205 Live.
And lost?
And Enzo somehow beat him for it, and then Kalisto just like charged down the ramp and just like beat the crap out of him on the ramp because he was pissed because I guess he cheated his way to a victory as he usually does.
I don't know what they're doing with that show, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
I really like fear for the Cruiserweight division now that Neville's gone, because like, not that Enzo's bad. I feel like Enzo's where he needs to be and he does a great job in his role. But like Neville had that kind of energy and excitement and could put on the quality of matches that made you turn your head and pay attention to the Cruiserweight division. I don't know if Enzo... I don't know if Enzo's on that Neville level. Like, I'm using it as a pun, but it actually makes sense now. Like, Austin Aries was on that level. Kalisto, if you build him right, could be on that level. I don't know if Enzo can be on that level.
Enzo, I think, can, not necessarily in the ring, but he has been on fire on the mic. And I honestly think that if Neville stuck around and they didn't do this weird
They would have a legendary
storyline,
feud.
yeah, if they didn't do this weird storyline of
Rivalry.
well, where people can't, not even the rivalry, just the idea of now people can't challenge Enzo for the title, so we have to throw Kalisto. And if they didn't do that and they just kept it Neville versus Enzo and Neville trying to get the title back and having Enzo be the way he has been on the mic, it would have been amazing.
Mm-hmm. But Neville didn't want to be, I think, stuck in the Cruiserweight division and lose to Enzo clean. He was sick and tired of being down there, so it was the last straw and he decided to leave.
Yeah, which is upsetting.
Which is sad. And, I'll say it again, like, I think one of the biggest problems with the Cruiserweight division is that they treat it's like the whole, like, Cruiserweight division in WCW and then the Cruiserweight Classic, it was based on hard-hitting, ridiculous, good matches with pure wrestling ability. And they've turned 205 Live into mini Raw and mini SmackDown, where it seems more soap opera-y and...
Even more so than Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's almost as if the writer's like, wait, is that a good idea? Quick, burn it, get it away from me.
Well, I think it's more that, like, they have themselves, like, I think the storyline stuff wouldn't even be that terrible if it wasn't for the fact that, like, the matches are, like, standard TV matches. Like, you don't have these insane, like, guys, and I understand.
They do
to an extent, because,
then,
wrestling like that every single week takes a toll on your body, but it, like... That was the Cruiserweight division's identity coming out of the Cruiserweight Classic and with the heritage that it had with WCW. And
at least do that once a week. Have your main event be that, so you switch out what the main event is, especially since you have so many storylines, people get a rest in between having these big matches, but at least do that once a week. They do it every now and then. Like, I know they had a very good no DQ match between Gallagher and Kendrick a while ago. But...
All right.
I think the best way to revitalize the Cruiserweight division at this point, it would be to do what they initially had planned on doing, which is a second Cruiserweight Classic. Yeah. Because they were going to do it annually. Why they haven't, I don't know, but you need to do another one. Bring some fresh faces in. They wanted to do
the Mae Young Classic this year, that's why.
They could do both. But I mean, bring in some more new faces, bring some of the people over there, have the good matches again, have whoever wins challenge whoever's the champion for the title.
I mean, they could, because, they've got the Mae Young Classic now. They've got the Cruiserweight Classic. And if they want to, they've got the Dusty Rhodes Classic. So if they wanted to make it even more special, like, say, the FIFA World Cup or whatever, they could do it to where it's every 3 years. And 1 year it's the Cruiserweights, the next year it's the tag teams, the next year it's the women.
Well, they usually do they did the Dusty Tag Team 2 years in a row at the same time.
Yeah, but I don't think they're doing it this year.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
And so, like, maybe they're trying to do it to where, like, now the Dusty Rhodes Classic will be tag teams from around the independent scene and maybe 1 or 2 from NXT and stuff like that.
That'd be nice.
So, anyway, we gotta move on. Did you have something else to add?
One quick note that you reminded me of, speaking of tag teams. We predicted right. Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan are forming a tag team in NXT.
You predicted that, right? You
true.
Predict that. Moving on, we've got what is potentially the match of the night.
Oh yeah.
Finn Balor as Demon Balor versus AJ Styles.
Yeah.
And that was a really good match.
Mm-hmm. And especially seeing as how he came in straight from Chile for the match.
Yeah.
Insane.
I mean, he's AJ Styles. He's the phenomenal AJ Styles.
I was gonna say he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he can have a good match with he could have a 5-star classic with Moppy.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Mm-hmm. Because you knew I was initially gonna say a broom or a mop, and then I was like, wait, there's a character in WWE that was a broom or a mop. Moppy.
Yep. He's almost as good of a hand as Mae Young's son.
Yeah, and he's got a good head on his shoulders, almost as big as head.
All right, let's continue.
You put those 3 characters together, you've kind of almost got like a mannequin wrestler.
You've got something screaming, "Kill me!" That's what you got there.
It's just begging for the sweet release of death at the ring of the bell,
and it will still beat Gilbert.
Yeah. All it's got to do is just hold the sparkler in his face.
Yeah, I think it's just got to do how Yusuke Urameshi beat Rando. All he's got to do is let gravity take control and just fall on him.
Oh, man, that's a reference.
Oh, yeah.
That's a reference. I think maybe about 5% of people who are watching this podcast will get it. And by that, I mean like maybe half of one person. Be like, I think I remember that show.
And by half of one person, you mean you.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so anything else you want to add about that match? Balor, as we predicted, won, which makes sense because, yes, AJ Styles is AJ Styles, but they're really trying to build up Demon Balor, and if it's believed that they're building up Demon Balor to be able to take on Brock Lesnar, he has to go over AJ Styles, and it's a huge statement to rebuild Balor.
Yeah, it's also a bit of the idea of it's gonna hurt Finn Balor more losing to AJ Styles when he's gonna be trying to go up against Brock Lesnar, as opposed to AJ Styles losing to Finn Balor when looking to go up against Jinder Mahal.
Yeah. And, like, you know, and AJ can afford to take the hit. Finn Balor right now, with the program he had with Bray Wyatt, like, he can't afford to take that hit.
Both, not only the program he had with Bray Wyatt, but also, like I said, the people they're going to be challenging against.
Yeah.
He needs to look stronger because, I mean, honestly, AJ Styles can lose to Finn Balor and still easily beat Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
If Finn Balor can't beat AJ Styles, he may not be able to beat Brock Lesnar, and that's what you got to work on.
AJ Styles can easily beat Jinder Mahal, but can he beat Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers?
Yes.
No, he can't, because nobody can.
He can.
No, he can't, because nobody can.
He can.
Watch Brock Lesnar lose at Survivor Series.
That actually reminds me of something
we'll get to that later. Yeah. We'll get to that later. I know you want to talk about that, but let's not divert too much.
But anyway, there is one more thing I wanted to say about that match, though.
Yes.
Which is, I felt so bad for AJ with the finish of that
match.
Oh
my god, did he eat that like so bad? Like, normally Balor will hit it and like roll or slide back or fall. I feel like that was premeditated. Where AJ was like, just freaking kill me with that thing.
And I love how it was Balor's like, coup de grace, I live here now.
Yeah, pretty much. This is my new home. Squatters' rights.
And there was also the whole, I don't know if you heard about this, but a little bit of people were making a big stink about the whole too sweet at the end of the match.
Why? Should they get a cease and desist?
No. Some people were claiming that AJ and Balor did that because, as they put it, leave it to Vince McMahon to fly AJ Styles all the way to the show, just so he could give a big FU to the Young Bucks and the rest of the Bullet Club on live TV. And AJ Styles immediately responded with, "No, that's not it at all. This wasn't even talked about before. That was two guys respected the hell out of each other,
who ran the same stable in the same old company.
Saying we both ran the same club, and it was us giving respect to our old BC buddies." Because we remember where we came from.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I saw it as. Like, How did anybody else see that any different? It was two former leaders of the Bullet Club wrestling each other for the first time ever, and then showing respect for themselves and the stable they both ran.
And love.
In the ring. And for each other. Like, why people gotta be dumb? Why people gotta be dumb?
Because they are. But anyway,
all right. Then we move on to Asuka versus Emma, which surprisingly was much longer and not that I didn't think it was going to be a bad match, but like much longer and better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. I thought they were literally servicing Emma up as a sacrificial lamb to just get slaughtered by Asuka in less than 2 minutes, and Emma actually held her own.
You see, I was thinking that it wasn't going to be quite a slaughter, but it was going to be more of Emma not getting as much offense as Asuka, and Asuka doing like a heavy beatdown, and like Emma kind of holding her own, but Emma held her own a lot better in that match than I thought she was going to.
Yeah, she did.
She had control for a majority of the match.
Which I love. Like, yeah,
I know they're showcasing Emma, like, which is what they need.
Asuka is undefeated. She isn't invincible. Like, and you know, this also shows A, Asuka is the real deal because she did beat Emma. B, Emma should be taken seriously, which is good because she should be.
And she held up her own against someone who's been undefeated longer than Goldberg was.
And C, even though Asuka's undefeated and won her first match, it also shows that to Asuka, for her character, that the main roster is a totally different level than NXT. So that did 3 great things in that match, and I loved it.
It was a great match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, I was very happy that Emma got the spotlight she deserved.
Yes. Then we move on to the other women's match, which was Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James for the women's title, which was okay. Like, it wasn't anything special. Like, I really didn't feel any emotion or anything. I really didn't feel for Mickey the way that they wanted me to feel for her. It didn't feel like we were on the cusp of her getting a record-tying title victory.
Yeah. It was kind of
I feel like they really could have maybe have invested more and done more with that storyline to build up the excitement.
Seeing as how the entire storyline up until the pay-per-view was, Mickey James is old. And then at the pay-per-view it was, well, if she wins, she'll tie for most... What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like, why didn't you run with that storyline beforehand? Like, I didn't realize until they said it when Mickey was coming out of the ring.
Exactly.
But, it was an okay match. It wasn't too great. I think Mickey and Alexa can do better, and I feel like the story could be better. And honestly, like, part of me would actually be okay with Mickey winning and tying Trish Stratus, because Mickey James is kind of up there with Trish Stratus. I don't think she should break Trish Stratus's record, but I think I could be okay with her tying Trish's record.
I don't think it would even matter if she beat Trish's record, because in about 2 years, Sasha's going to beat that.
Or Charlotte.
Yeah.
Or both. All right, so that was that. And then we move on to the main event, which is also Match of the Night contender with the Balor Styles match, which is hello, fellow Shields. I am also a Shield team of Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Kurt Angle against Braun Strowman, The Miz, The Bar, and Kane. Which, that entrance was hilarious.
There were so many memes about that. Like, this is what it looks like when you let your dad hang out with you.
When you're trying desperately to fit in.
Yeah. God. So good. Yeah, this is the
match. When you've got that one dude in your crew that always ruins the cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a good match. A lot of people had issues with it. I didn't really.
I will say, the one thing, and this has nothing to do with the match, one thing that bothered me about the entrances is as funny as it was seeing Kurt Angle come out as a member of the Shield, I really hated the fact that we didn't get the full Kurt Angle entrance. The music and his tights and attire and everything. Like, I wanted that so bad, and we didn't get it.
I was actually thinking / hoping, I was like, I know it's not going to make any sense, but I have a feeling Angle's going to be taken out of the match at one point, which he did, and that when he comes back, he not only is better, but changed into that, so he comes out and has a second entrance doing that later in the night.
When his music hit, I was like, oh, please tell me he's coming back in the tights, but no, he only came back in the Shield gear, which was upsetting, but...
That'll be the next pay-per-view, and hopefully that'll be... I know it'll probably not happen at all, but WWE, please do another quick test on D-Bry, clear him, and then you could have the general manager of SmackDown versus the general manager of Raw at Survivor Series. Come on, give us Daniel Bryan versus Kurt Angle.
You know, with all these Daniel Bryan cryptic tweets, and, you know, Daniel Bryan saying, you know, so they're saying there's a chance, and then, like, we'll get into a future thing that happened, but, like, we'll get into it more, but SmackDown invaded Raw, and it was Shane who ordered it, and Bryan had a problem with it. Do you think maybe we might get Shane McMahon versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania?
A lot of people are thinking... I don't know. I know a lot of people are saying that we might get Shane versus Kurt, in which I saw a lot of people saying, because that worked so well for Shane last time, with a gif of him getting thrown through the plexiglass.
Please just make the entire WrestleMania 34 set just panes of plexiglass.
And Kurt just walks out just... Get me a 5-hour.
Oh my god. Put that on first too, so that way everybody has to walk through the shattered glass afterwards.
Come on.
Come on, guys. Really?
That would really suck for Rusev.
Yep. Rusev, Bachka!
Rusev Bleedka from his beach cut. Yeah, it was a very good match. And I liked how they did a murder.
Yep.
They literally put
R.I.P. in peace, Braun Strowman. It was a good run while it lasted.
Put into the back of a garbage truck and killed. And the crowd was chanting, that was murder.
Clap, 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 clap. That was murder. Clap, 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 clap. Which was a thing. It was definitely a thing.
I'm guessing that's why WWE keeps Dave around.
I saw them put Braun Strowman in the garbage truck, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. They won't close it. Then it closed. I'm like, okay, they closed it. It won't crush. Then it crushed. I'm like, okay, Strowman's dead. There has been a death. We've witnessed a murder, a death.
Well, bro,
For the first time, I thought WWE was over with this after the Buried Alive matches, but clearly not.
Well, Braun, after you lost to Brock Lesnar, we don't really have any plans for you, so we're going to kill you now.
Mm-hmm. Now I have a question. Like, who is blamed for the murder there? Is it Kane and the rest of Team Miz, or is it Rusev? Because the garbage truck crushed, and Rusev crushes.
He was probably
Rusev was the driver of the garbage truck.
You see, the garbage truck, the original driver, got viral meningitis from Bray Wyatt, so they had to bring Rusev in from Chile too, so he could drive the garbage truck.
Rusev Machka.
Which actually,
that's the new rivalry. We've got this whole fantasy booking thing figured out. Strowman's gonna come back pissed off at Kane, and Kane's gonna be like, "I'm not the one who drove the truck and closed it and actually crushed you." And then Strowman's gonna be like, "What the hell?" He's gonna turn around and he's gonna get super kicked by Rusev. Machka. Rusev was a garbage truck driver. Cross promotional match at Survivor Series. Rusev versus Strowman. Go do it. Book it.
I'd enjoy that.
Yes.
But, oh my god, I still can't believe they did that.
Yeah, that was a thing, and it was an interesting way of getting Strowman out of the match and limiting the numbers so that way Angle and the Shield could win. Because, I'm thinking, how do they do the numbers game? Because every time they take out, somebody, they come back, and then Kane turned on Strowman. I'm like, that's why. That's how. Good idea.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
One thing that I saw a lot of people complaining about, which I was just kind of like, was I saw people saying things like, you've got the Shield going around swinging chairs at everyone, and then Rollins and Ambrose do a suicide dive on Cesaro and Sheamus, and that's what makes them stay down for a while. And I like to point out, they got hit with a suicide dive after all those aforementioned chair shots.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's not like the video game where you could punch someone and all of a sudden, oh, I'm back to normal, let me attack you.
Mm-hmm.
The actual psychology is they're getting beaten with chairs, then have guys who weigh over 200 pounds flying in the air and hit them. They're probably like, you know what? We got two people that are 7 feet tall on our team. We're just going to rest here and let them try to take care of it for now.
Yeah. I don't, it's the culmination of all the damage. Or exactly. Whatever you want to call it. The
abuse.
Combination of all the damage, and just stacked upon one another. It's not like you said, it's not like the video game where somebody gets hit and they're like, okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, and that's psychology. So,
yeah.
Interesting that Kane and Strowman, it looks like, will now be heading for a rivalry, which is good because that keeps Strowman busy, and it gives him somebody who is older, who also goes by the moniker of Monster, who used to be a serious, legitimate monster, for him to go through and help establish his character in the meantime while we wait for this whole Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns thing to finally play out.
Yeah.
Which we know is gonna happen. We don't want it to happen, but we know what's gonna happen. To me, the main event of WrestleMania is not gonna be that match. It's gonna be Nakamura versus AJ. But I digress. Originally, apparently, Kane was supposed to be Roman's opponent coming out of this match, though not Strowman's.
Yeah, from what I heard, his reasoning behind that was going to be he beat my brother at WrestleMania and retired him. To which I'm like,
since when did you last care about your brother?
How many months late are you?
Yeah.
I really? It's almost Survivor Series.
Well,
you're doing it now?
in Hell they're repairing all the.
You mean Knoxville, Tennessee, where he's running from?
No, down in Hell, where he's from, because he's the demon. The telegraph. The lines for the telegraphs are down, so the Morse code doesn't come through.
He's not from Hell. He's from parts unknown.
Whatever. Whatever. I get parts unknown.
Google Maps probably doesn't work that well there, so it probably took him a while to get back.
Exactly. Google Maps doesn't work. It's hard for him to find directions to the right arena, and they move all the time. He wasn't with the roster at the time,
Vince, I finally made it to the house show in Japan. That was 3 months ago. Damn it!
Like I said, all the communication stuff was down because of a heat wave, and Papa Shango's voodoo wasn't working as well as it normally does. It takes a while to get those spells to work.
Yeah. His seeing eye dog Paul Bearer isn't around anymore.
Yep. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
R.I.P. in peace.
R.I.P. in peace. But yeah, overall, good match. I liked what they did with Kane and Strowman to take Strowman out of the equation. I loved Angle making the comeback and just going House of Fire. Angle slamming both members of the bar, which I will say, I think, who was it? I think it was Sheamus who went through the table, right?
No,
Cesaro.
Sheamus went on the ramp, and then Cesaro was mid, and then Angle was just like, F this, and just dropped him through the table.
Well, I think he was supposed to put them both through the tables, because there was a table on either side. I think he maybe forgot with Sheamus, or Sheamus wasn't in the right position.
He still landed on the ramp, so...
Yeah. Still hurt a lot. And then again, it was cool that that Miz ended up tapping out to the ankle lock, which was very fitting. Very cool. Awesome to see Angle make his comeback and everything. Again, I just wish he had his classic tights on, his Murica tights on.
Yeah.
So, and that was TLC 2017. And when we compare the predictions, we each got everything but one match right. So we both got Sasha Banks right. You got Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann right. I got that one wrong. I got Enzo right. You got that one wrong. And then we got Demon Balor, Asuka, Alexa, and Shields with Angle.
There was one other match that happened that we forgot to talk about.
Oh yeah, we did forget about one other match, which was Jason Jordan versus Elias. Which I will say, I loved those Elias segments. I liked them. I liked that he can't... and not so much for Jason Jordan coming out and throwing the vegetables, which was okay. It was getting tired by the end of the night.
He was doing a
but
good
I
job
loved the
crowd.
way that he was interacting with the crowd, being like, okay, I gotta start all over again, and stuff like that, and being like, excuse me, please, I can't hear myself singing over your applause. Please hold your applause until the end. Like, I loved that. Like, Elias, I keep trying to not say Samson at the end of that, because they changed his name.
Langston.
But Elias knows to work a crowd. Like, really well. He's really knowing how to work that crowd and get that heel heat, and it's really awesome. It's cool to see him develop his character and evolve into being able to do that easily, because he really wasn't that great at reading or playing off a crowd in NXT. He kind of just went through and did his whole singing thing and would finish the song.
That's because with NXT, that crowd is different than on the main roster.
Maybe.
And the main roster are more... The crowds that go to the main roster are more likely to play into that kind of stuff.
Anyway, the match.
It was good.
I can't remember who won that match.
I think it was...
Was it Jason Jordan or Elias?
I think it was Jordan by DQ.
Maybe. I honestly can't... Like, it was... Not to say it was a forgettable match. It was a good match from what I remember of it. I just can't remember the ending.
Same.
So, sorry about that. But that was TLC, and if you're keeping track of the predictions, that means that we are tied, and so by Champion's advantage, once again, for the third pay-per-view in a row, I hold on to the championship, and still. Hashtag and still.
Yep.
Hashtag and still. That's hashtag. You know, the little ampersand, or not ampersand, ampersand's the and thing. The little pound sign, hashtag, ANDSTIL, all one word, hashtag and still.
Because we once again tied.
Yeah.
And we
Champion's
keep
advantage.
tying. And I'm just waiting for the day when someone, whether it's you or me, will actually have a clear victory. Because this whole getting tied thing is just kind of like, all right, really? It just like means, if you were to if I got both those wrong, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But the fact that we keep
means
tying,
we're equal. We're equal at predicting right. We're both just that good. But I'm better because I won the last one first.
Yeah.
And still. Hashtag and still. Anyway, let's move on to...
one quick thing I want to bring up. Did you hear about what happened with Triple H over the last week?
No, what happened to
Triple H?
H?
Well, you know how I mentioned that AJ Styles flew in from Chile?
Yes.
SmackDown was doing a show down there. Apparently Kevin Owens couldn't make it, so Triple H filled in for him. And apparently he did some kind of segment involving the New Day, in which Xavier Woods was playing his trumpet, and Triple H started dancing with them, and actually started twerking.
Oh, good
and
Lord.
People were going crazy. And then he, out of nowhere, kicked Kofi, gave Kofi a pedigree, rolled out of the ring, and then was just dancing up the entrance ramp.
That's amazing.
While Xavier and Big E were like, what happened?
That's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, so do we want to do some TLC trivia before we move on to other wrestling stuff?
Sounds good to me.
And it doesn't seem, just so you guys know, if you are watching, you can play along. Feel free to play along if you want. And send back your answers and comments if you want to answer comments in the YouTube comments or on any of the places where you can hear it in audio version. And if you have any trivia questions you would like to ask us, feel sure to email us at supergrapplebros@gmail.com. Let's get to it.
All right. So, first question I'll ask you.
Okay.
Pretty obvious. What was the first ever TLC match?
Hardys versus Dudleys versus Edge and Christian at SummerSlam 2000.
Correct. What was the TLC match main event the TLC match that took place last year at TLC?
Main event at TLC last year?
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one. Was it a Raw or SmackDown pay-per-view?
It was SmackDown.
SmackDown?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think who was the champion then. AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose?
Correct. Who won that match?
AJ Styles.
Yep. All right. Now, where is it? Who has been in the most TLC matches in WWE history?
Edge?
Correct. Who has won the most TLC matches in WWE history?
John Cena?
Edge again.
Edge again.
Yep.
I was the way you phrased it made it sound like it was a trick question. I was gonna say Edge, but I was like, no, you're making it sound like it's a trick question.
Well, speaking of John Cena, how many TLC matches has he appeared in, and how many has he won?
I'm going to say he's appeared in 5 and won 2.
He has appeared in 2 and won 1.
Damn. He was in the one with Dolph Ziggler, right? For the Money in the Bank briefcase and then he was in the one against Edge that he won for the title.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, who has been in the second most number of TLC matches and has won all those matches?
Christian?
Nope.
Not Christian.
Nope.
Can't be Jeff Hardy.
Nope.
Oh, God. Who's been in a lot of TLC matches?
It's not that many.
I know. That's why I'm trying to figure it out.
It's basically like Edge and then everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Not Jericho.
Nope. Want me to give you a hint?
Yeah, sure. Give me a hint because I'm drawing a blank here.
He hasn't been in any of the tag team TLC matches. That's the first hint I'll give you. Still make it
tag team TLC matches.
Mm-hmm. At least none of the ones that with the Hardys.
Randy Orton?
Nope.
No, not Randy Orton. God, I am trying desperately to think.
One of these one of this person's matches was against Jeff Hardy.
Was it CM Punk?
Yes, it was.
Oh, wow.
CM Punk has been in 3 and won 3 TLC matches.
Wow, Punk has not lost a TLC match.
And then after him, well, actually, no, he's not in
Cookie
second
Monster
most
Punk.
number, but he's second most victories.
Mm-hmm.
Second most appearances is Jeff Hardy, and then after that, it's tied with Bubba Ray, Kane, Dean Ambrose, and Christian.
With how many appearances?
With 4 appearances each.
Okay.
Edge has been in 7 matches. Jeff Hardy has been in 5, and all those others have been in 4. CM Punk has been in 3 and won 3. And where did the first TLC take place?
The match or the event?
The match.
So the one that happened in SummerSlam 2000, where was that? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
I cannot remember. Los Angeles?
Boston.
Ah.
Alright, and now the first ever TLC pay-per-view. When did that take place? What year?
2006?
Nope.
2007?
Nope.
Warmer, colder?
Warmer.
2009?
Yes.
I skipped 2008. Screw you, 2008.
Alright, I'm just reading into this quickly. What was the TLC match at that pay-per-view?
It was a TLC match at 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't. Oof. Edge?
No.
Damn.
I should give you this little hint, actually. This was the first TLC match not to feature Edge, Christian, the Hardys, or the Dudleys. And all of these people are either in the WWE Hall of Fame or are going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
All of these people, so is it not a singles match?
No.
Damn it, because I was going to... Jericho?
He's one of them.
Versus... Punk?
Nope.
Versus Michaels?
As in Shawn Michaels?
Yeah.
That's another one of them.
All right. So Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Triple H.
Yep.
Batista?
Nope.
Randy Orton?
Nope.
Crap.
2 more guesses.
2 more people or just 2 more
I'm
guesses?
giving you 2 more guesses.
Son of a bitch. Let's see. Jericho. Cena?
Nope.
Fudge. Undertaker. Fudge! The clock on us.
It was Chris Jericho and The Big Show facing D-Generation X in a match for the Unified WWE Tag Team Championship.
DX versus Jericho. I forgot Jericho was a thing.
Yep.
Is that all the trivia?
That's it for now.
All right, I think I did okay.
And I also would like to point out that Big Show, according to that time frame of WWE, was the best tag team partner ever because Jericho won the titles with Edge. Then Edge got injured. So then it was Jericho. And then after they lost it,
Jericho won it with Miz and they were show Miz.
No, yeah, Big Show won it with Miz. You said Jericho won it with Miz. But yeah, Big Show won it with Miz and they were the Miz Show or whatever.
They were show Miz.
Show Miz. And then after that, Jericho and Miz were like, well, we both were just last tag team champions. Let's team up together. And they did not do it.
Okay, so moving on to other wrestling stuff this week. We now know what is going to be going on with Survivor Series. It looks like Survivor Series is basically going to be Bragging Rights 2017. It's going to be a Raw versus SmackDown event where basically we are going to be getting champion versus champion matches for every single title. And then we're going to have ourselves some good old-fashioned Survivor Series matches.
Yep.
We are getting, the Miz versus Baron Corbin. So IC versus United States Championship.
Correct.
Women's champion versus women's champion. So that is Alexa Bliss versus Natty is still the champion. Wow, heel versus heel. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, so far, both of those matches are heel versus heel.
Yeah, we're getting a women's Survivor Series match, which I believe we know the teams for that, right? The captain for...
We know captains, at least.
Yeah, the captain for Raw is...
Alicia
Fox, and the captain for SmackDown is Becky Lynch. Mm-hmm. And I know the SmackDown team is everybody but Lana.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much.
Because that's basically the entire division.
Well, Shane McMahon actually said, Lana, you're not on the team.
I know.
Everybody but Lana.
I'm saying that that's basically the entire division on SmackDown, which is why I think, side note, when Paige eventually comes back, she should go to SmackDown.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So, yeah, that would mean it would be Becky Lynch, Carmella, Charlotte, Tamina, and who
Naomi.
Else? And Naomi. So there's those 5. So we need 5 from Raw, and Alicia Fox is 1. So it would be Sasha Banks, Bailey, probably Mickie James, and then the last person would probably be Emma or Asuka. Probably maybe Asuka, and then you have Asuka win that match and be the survivor.
I don't know about Mickie James though, because I mean you've got Emma, you've got Asuka, you've also got who's apparently going to be coming back soon, Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Mickie and Emma are left out, and you've got Nia and Asuka.
Yeah,
both on the team. And then we've got our regular Survivor Series match, which I don't think we have captains for.
I don't know.
Or members either, but it's believed that Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon will both be like the cap will both end up being the captains and competing in that match.
I'd prefer them to have a singles match again.
Well, it could start the whole lead to a singles match, and they could also have a segment against one another.
I'd also prefer it to be Kurt Angle versus Daniel Bryan, but
everybody would want that. But
Come
D-Bry got knocked in the head a couple times.
WWE doctors, just give him a pass.
Just clear him.
Just do it.
Just
be like,
just tell him that there's a chance.
Don't tell Vince I gave you this paper. Go.
And then the main event is the match that everybody's looking forward to: Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal, champion versus champion.
if Jinder Mahal, by any means, pinfall, submission, count out, disqualification, any of those things, has a victory over Brock Lesnar, the only WWE product I will be watching from here on out is NXT.
Then what are we going to do with the podcast?
Read reviews.
That's not the point.
We'll
You need to be a host.
Well, that's up to you, WWE.
We will just be the Super Grapple Rose podcast. We'll just talk about video games.
Yeah.
But not really.
If Jinder wins, I'm gonna stop watching Raw. And like I said, I'll read what happens. I'll watch pay-per-views. I'll watch takeovers, things like that. But I'm not. I'm gonna stop watching.
Fine with that then. Yeah, I never thought I would not be excited for a Brock Lesnar match, but congratulations, you guys have done it.
Yeah.
I think maybe a lot of people hope that they can watch just to watch Brock Lesnar absolutely destroy Jinder, but I really don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about Jinder Mahal being in a match with Brock Lesnar. I want to see Brock Lesnar battle guys who are worthy of his time.
Yeah.
No offense to Jinder Mahal and the time that he's put in there, but I want to see Brock Lesnar against the likes of Kevin Owens, against the likes of AJ Styles, against the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, if I'm going to list a number of SmackDown people I would like to see Brock Lesnar go up against, Jinder Mahal is not in that top 5.
Jinder Mahal isn't in my top anything. He was I would rather see Brock Lesnar versus Gilbert over Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yeah. So,
Freaking Jinder.
that's that. That all came about because SmackDown Superstars, along with Shane McMahon, invaded Raw under the guise of AJ Styles coming there just to congratulate Balor.
There is one other match I forgot to mention, actually.
What's that?
Rollins and Ambrose versus the Usos.
Rollins and Ambrose versus the Usos, tag champs versus tag champs. That should be a freaking awesome match.
Yeah.
That one, you know how I just said that Lesnar and Mahal don't have me excited? This match has me really freaking excited.
Same.
That's going to be amazing.
It's quite possible that may be match of the night.
Yeah. How often are we saying that about tag title matches
I know.
this year?
WWE has been killing it with their tag team division.
Main event tag team division.
Yeah.
SmackDown's doing better overall, but Raw, I feel like I can't get invested in anybody who's not in the who isn't the Bar or Ambrose Rollins or maybe the Hardys when Jeff is healthy. Gallows
and Anderson when they come back, the Revival.
Yeah, but they're not doing anything with them right now. That's
True.
my problem. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm saying the talent that's there is bad. I'm saying the storylines around them. There's really no storylines going on for the secondary teams on Raw. Whereas at least on SmackDown, you've got the Fashion Files, which involves the Ascension and all that. Yeah. And you've got the New Day doing their thing.
Because they rock.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think Survivor Series sans that champion versus champion match should be really fun and interesting and entertaining, and I think the rest of the card will make up for that lackluster match.
I heard some people saying that they want to see Enzo go up against another champion.
Pete Dunne.
Probably. Well, a lot of people have been
Pete
saying
Dunne or Drew McIntyre.
People have been saying do Cruiserweight champion versus NXT champion. I'm like, no, I want to see Pete Dunne just obliterate Enzo Amore. That's what I want to see.
The problem with that, though, is I feel like WWE, because the Cruiserweight champion's on TV every week, they would have to put Enzo over. And do you really want Enzo to go over Pete Dunne or
Drew
McIntyre?
They don't have to put him over. They could go with the storyline of
maybe
him
if it
being cocky and then them bringing in someone who's not a cruiserweight, who's a lot bigger than him, coming in and just destroy. Because even in his cruiserweight matches, a lot of them are him being beaten up.
Pete Dunne
and then getting a win.
But Pete Dunne is the bruiserweight. He's isn't he under 205?
No, he's a little over.
Nah, but my point is, I feel like they would put Enzo over. Maybe if it's like an unclean finish or something, I'd be okay with it. But like, I don't want to see Enzo beating Drew McIntyre or Pete Dunne clean.
But like I said, with the way Enzo is, and especially with the fact that I have not seen a show that Pete Dunne has been on where the crowd doesn't go crazy when he comes out. Even though he acts like a heel, people love him. And if you were to, with how hot Enzo has been with being a heel, if you were to see like the week before Raw, Enzo going on about how no one can touch him, no one could go anywhere near him, and Kurt Angle to be like, well, you're going to have a match at Survivor Series 2. We're going to have the Cruiserweight Champion versus this champion, and have Pete Dunne come out, and just the look on
But
Enzo's
are you
face.
sacrificing the moment? Or are you sacrificing Pete Dunne's character and the momentum that he's built and like the aura around his character? Are you sacrificing that in a loss to Enzo, depending on the loss?
I'm saying he doesn't
for the
lose.
sake of that one moment. I'm telling you, I don't think WWE would have a champion that's a champion who's on TV every week and is getting a lot of heat and is their best chance at keeping 205 Live relevant. I don't see them having him lay down for a guy who is on NXT 5 times a year.
You could do it in a couple different ways. Once again, the main thing I was pointing out is the fact that a lot of Enzo's character is he gets the crap beat out of him and then finds some underhanded way to win. You have a lot of the match be Pete Dunne coming out just beating on Enzo, and you could have him win with something like Enzo like getting out of the ring and crawling away and getting counted out. Or something like that.
Unless maybe you want to call Pete Dunne up and like maybe whoever is the UK champion, you have the UK division in SmackDown.
I don't know.
Maybe
if
I don't know because that's the only way I can see you putting Pete Dunne over on Enzo Amore.
I could see you doing it just like I said, just based on the fact of he's in a different weight class, and it's the idea of a lot of what Enzo's character is he can't really back up what he says. He has to use underhanded ways to win, and if he goes up against someone like Pete Dunne, who's in a different weight class, heavier, which is something that they throw on with the cruiserweights all the time of, well, this guy isn't a cruiserweight, so he could beat a cruiserweight.
But then that reinforces the idea that if you're in the cruiserweight division, you can't beat bigger guys, and therefore you should forever stay in the cruiserweight division.
That's the idea they've been going with.
But that's a problem because that means that once you go into the cruiserweight division, you're never making it on the main roster, and you're never going to beat the bigger guys.
Yeah. I still want to see
Pete
Dunne beat the shit
I feel
out
like
of
the
Enzo.
long-term ramifications or consequences don't what's the word I'm looking for? God, what am I looking for?
Don't benefit them?
Yeah, no, not benefit. Don't equal out or don't justify. That's what I'm looking. Don't justify just having that moment or having that match.
As I said, you could disagree with me all you want. My personal opinion is if they did it that way, where like they do it on Survivor Series, Enzo goes and does a promo and this match gets thrown together, I could easily see them doing it where because of how Enzo's character is based, especially with a surprise opponent coming out, that he could lose to someone like a Pete Dunne or a Drew McIntyre or something like that. Because, he's on TV every week, but he's also on 205 Live every week, which is his mainstay, which is on the WWE Network. So it doesn't hurt him as much if you have someone who's also featured on the WWE Network almost every week, if not every week, come on and beat him. Especially, like I said, completely different weight division because they're bigger. I mean, how much taller is Drew McIntyre than Enzo? Drew McIntyre is over 6 feet tall. He's a big dude. You do something like that, I think it could work out because I think, like I said, it works well with Enzo's character, and especially if you do it as a split moment
We'll
surprise.
have to see if it even happens. Hello to Rob World, by the way, who is in the chat. And we are going to, before we transition over to video games, is there any other stuff in the wrestling world that should be discussed news-wise?
Apparently Jericho and Omega aren't getting along together.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, apparently someone said something to Jericho about Kenny Omega being a very good hand in the ring and possibly being the best in the world, and Jericho basically responded with, well, he's not a 6-time world champ who wrestles in the big leagues. And people like Kenny Omega responding with, "Wow, never meet your heroes, kids." And the Young Bucks talking about how, of course, he would say something like that, but he's not doing nearly as big of stuff in the big leagues as Omega is doing on New Japan and stuff. And Kenny Omega also pointing out things like, well, I'm out there having 6-star matches all the time. When's the last time you've done that? And Jericho basically just being like, well, I'm the one putting hundreds of thousands of butts in the seats at venues like WrestleMania. So I don't want to hear you talk about it because I'm the one drawing the fans. And it's a matter of, I'm pretty sure if New Japan could have a venue like that, it's quite possible that these guys would draw those kind of numbers.
I don't know.
Like if they have one of their shows in LA and they do it in one of the stadiums there, with all the diehard wrestling fans, you don't think a lot of them would travel for that?
If it's a one-time thing, yes, but consistently every single week, or in the way that WWE does.
Well, they sell out similar arenas that WWE has on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. Arenas that have thousands of people. But yeah. So basically, Jericho being the classic Jeritroll. And Omega not being too happy about it.
Yeah, well, who knows? Some people think that it might be a work or something, but I don't think so. I think it's just two wrestlers maybe having fun with each other.
The only way I could see it being any kind of a work is if Jericho is for some reason building this towards his rock and wrestling rager that they're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. Or that he's going to be doing, where it's a cruise he's going to be doing with a bunch of like rock shows going on, as well as an actual like ROH tournament on the ship. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I can't really think of too much else that's happened in the wrestling world other than, SmackDown invading Raw and Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. All right, so if that's it, then we can transition over from wrestling over to the video games. Mm-hmm. I'll just put this lovely thing away. And we will see how this goes until
this series of Survivors.
Until Survivor Series, yeah. So, moving on to the video game world, we've got a lot of good games came out this week. A lot of good games. First, and most importantly of which, came on the Switch.
Assassin's Creed, right?
That came out this week, but no, wrong console.
Wolfenstein.
Still, same thing as Assassin's Creed.
Cuphead.
That was last month.
Destiny 2.
On PC, yes, but
Battletoads.
Battletoads?
Battletoads.
No, not Battletoads.
It wouldn't be that Legend of Zorlo person, would it?
No. Not the Legend of Zorro person.
What about that Italian plumber dude? What's his name?
Luigi?
Super Luigi Odyssey.
Or
is it Super Waluigi Odyssey?
Nope. Other direction. Nope. Go back.
Super Bowser Odyssey.
Way away. Nope. Cold. Freezing cold. Frigid.
Super Baby Mario Odyssey. Got it in one.
That's more like 20, and you were wrong.
I said got it in one.
Anyway, Super Mario Odyssey came out this week. Let's just get away from that whole bit. And it did really, really well. It's reviewed incredibly well.
Yeah.
Insanely well.
A lot of people are going crazy over this game.
97 overall on Metacritic. Lots of places. Giant Bomb, IGN, Game Revolution. Lots of places are giving it perfect scores. And be that 5-star, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, whatever you call it. Polygon, I believe, gave it a 9.5. Game Informer, I believe, gave it a 9.8. Basically, a lot of people are saying, and even people who haven't scored the game, like Kotaku and Eurogamer and places like that are giving very positive reviews. They're basically saying, Waypoint, if you have a Switch or if you like video games, buy a Switch and buy this game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can totally see where it came from. Because from everything I've seen about the game, you've got yourself the 2D platforming segments where you can go in and it's like actually all 8-bit style, like Super
Yeah, I've
Mario.
seen that. Yeah, it's very cool.
The whole capturing mechanic with Cappy seems like a ton of fun. And of course, you've got your classic 3D Mario kind of platforming going on.
Yeah, and apparently they also have like a photo capture mode, which is really cool, I hear.
Hmm.
Able to take a lot of really cool pictures.
A lot of photobombs.
Yeah, like I've been doing in Overwatch.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yeah, basically Super Mario Odyssey, I don't have it. I don't own a Switch, but I want a Switch for this and for Zelda. Like I want a Switch now in my possession. Once I get the monies, the Switch will be mine, and then I will have my Super Mario Odyssey and my Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's basically become if you own a Switch, get it, and if you don't own a Switch, maybe you might want to think about getting a Switch because Nintendo seems to be back with Zelda and Mario.
Yeah. My thing is I would love to get a Switch and Super Mario Odyssey and all that, but that's probably not going to happen for a while because of finances.
Mm-hmm.
Wah, wah.
Wah, 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 wah.
And I'm also more focused on trying to get like a NES or SNES Classic so my kids can start playing video games.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I would love to get an SNES Classic as well. Get them started on Final Fantasy VI. That'll totally be the right game to start them on. Totally the right one.
Yeah. I was showing my daughter the original Mario actually the other day.
Oh yeah? What did she think about
I
it?
have an app on my phone where it's a NES caster, so with my Google Chromecast, I can put it on the TV and use my phone as a controller.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and she was watching it and she's like, "Jump on the mushrooms and the turtles." And I died a lot because of the lag between the controller and everything, but she liked it.
That's good. Other games that came out this week that are also reviewing well, which means I really need a lot of games to come out. Assassin's Creed Origins being hailed as arguably the best Assassin's Creed game in a long time, at least since Black Flag.
Well, I have to say, as soon as people got a game where you're playing as some dude in some ancient civilization where you could climb up buildings, since that came out, people have been saying, when are you going to do pyramids? So I'm not surprised that people are very happy about it.
Yeah, and apparently, they didn't just, apparently props to Ubisoft, they said that they went real deep in with the ancient Egyptian culture. Apparently, people will learn a lot about what that, because, we know, the general stuff of ancient Egyptians. They had pharaohs, they had a pagan pantheon of different gods. They built pyramids. They kept slaves and stuff like that. But finite stuff about what the society and culture was like not a lot of people know about that. I admit I don't even really know a ton about that. But apparently Ubisoft did a lot of research with that and actually brought that culture to life and really represented it. It's really eye-opening for a lot of people now.
Yeah. Now, do you ever go to Hamunaptra and see the tomb of Imhotep?
No.
Really hoping for that.
No, you didn't. No.
But do they involve things like the Book of the Dead? I heard that they have mention of it.
I don't know about that stuff. I hope so. But yeah, 85 Metacritic rating for the Xbox version, 84 Metacritic rating on PlayStation. So yeah, basically if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, you definitely want to get your hands on Origins and get playing. And I heard that it doesn't seem like, from what I've heard of the reviews, they don't go heavy on the whole sci-fi thing. Okay. Apparently when you do the tombs and stuff like the tombs or the dungeony stuff like that, that goes into the whole sci-fi thing. But it doesn't. It seems like this may actually be you're playing as this character instead of somebody in an animus playing as this character.
Which is cool.
And they're not beating you over the head with the whole Abstergo,
Abstergo's
ancient,
here. They're bad.
first civilization stuff.
Yeah. Which
honestly I think is good, because I feel as interesting as that was for the original trilogy, now it's kind of getting old, and it's with this game, with this premise, do you really need anything aside from you're playing as an assassin in an ancient civilization?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing for a little side thing that pops up, oh look, there it is, I found you, Waldo. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that, it's good, but it can't be the focus of the game.
Yeah, anymore. Which apparently it isn't now which it isn't now in this game, which is good.
Yeah, and everything I've seen of this game, it's one thing that this Assassin's Creed has done for the first time since the initial Assassin's Creed game came out.
What?
It has made me afraid of water in the games.
Because of the alligators.
Because of the crocodiles and the hippos and all that.
Hippos don't mess around. They will F you up.
Yeah, and especially since it's all the dirty, like, mucky water, it's a matter of they could pop up at any time. I don't know if I even want to be on a boat. I'm afraid I'll hit the wrong button and jump in the water, and a crocodile will kill me.
Mm-hmm.
So, you see me play it all. Expect to see me on a horse just going around to try and find some way across the Nile without having to use a boat.
Mm-hmm. And then we also have Destiny 2 came out on PC this week, which, oh my god, the frames. Unlimited frames. The frames. Pretty much. Like, Destiny 2 is a perfect example of, like, how I don't think resolution might be the future of gaming. It might be frames per second. Or mainly the difference between 30 and 60.
Yeah.
Because the jump from 30 to 60, if you put, like, PS4, Xbox Destiny 2 next to PC Destiny 2, like, the difference in frames and, like, how smooth everything moves and how beautiful everything looks just because of increased frames is ridiculous.
No.
On Destiny 2. I got to play the beta of it a little bit. I haven't gotten to touch the PC version, but the PC version's got an 84 Metacritic overall, so doing pretty well on Metacritic.
That's good.
In other Destiny stuff, like, I finally got my first character raid ready.
Oh,
my Warlock hit 280 on my PS4, which now means that I have to start making my Titan on Xbox so I can play with my girlfriend, and start my Hunter on PC so I can enjoy the unlimited frames.
Yeah, I gotta finish up with the Overwatch Halloween Terror event, and then I could go back to Destiny 2.
Speaking of Overwatch...
Nothing really new this week.
We don't have any weekly Overwatch news.
And we could talk more about the Halloween Terror event if you want, because I've been having a hell of a fun time.
I actually just started it. I played it earlier in this week for a couple hours on PC. None of my loot boxes gave me any skins, so I am very upset. I only got I think I got a couple of icons, a couple of sprays, and a line or two.
Earlier today, I got to play one game which got me a loot box, and I got a highlight intro for Roadhog.
Nice.
Where it's basically, there's like little pebbles on the ground. You see them jumping from him, stepping, and then it goes on and goes, Rah!
That's cool.
Yeah.
It ties in with the whole Frankenstein skin.
Exactly. But I've also got, this year I got the Junkenstein skin. I got the Ghoul skin for Ana. And I've also gotten the Cultist skin for Zenyatta. In which I just love when he uses his ultimate instead of... talking about tranquility, it's oblivion that he talks about instead, and just like all about, Cthulhu and stuff. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. And the one I haven't gotten yet that I really want is the Torbjorn Viking.
Yes.
Really
I just want any of them because I don't have any of them. But it is fun. I like the deathmatch mode that was on there. I liked... I played Junkenstein's Revenge, the challenge. I played it on easy mode, so that way I could just at least experience what it's like, and it was cool. I haven't played any of the harder modes. I need to do, what is it, the harder mode, the challenge mode, or whatever it is, where you could also get the loot box from. I need to beat that, because I tried that once, and then everybody in my team left, and I died.
Yeah, I actually played some of it. They have the regular mode, and then they have the endless mode, which has more characters, in which... it took me 3 times.
How far do you have to get in that in order to earn the loot box?
You have to get through the 12 waves, and then it starts doing bonus waves.
Okay.
But it took me 3 times to actually play it, because the first 2 times I went to play, it was, all right, well, I picked Torbjorn, and then that guy picked Soldier 76, and then that guy picked Hanzo, and then that other guy's waiting there for a while, and then he picks McCree.
It's like, we don't have a healer.
Yeah, no one picked a healer. I was also the first person to pick, and I'm playing as a character that's kind of essential for that. Mm-hmm. And no one else is picking a healer, so I left. Because I'm like, you know what? Another person will join.
Not going to
you
end
can deal
well.
with that. I'm not dealing with it. And then I went to do another thing. And the exact same thing happened, where I picked Torbjorn first, then someone picked Soldier 76, then someone picked Hanzo, then someone picked McCree. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And then finally the third match, I picked Torbjorn, and then someone picked Zenyatta, and I was like, all right, thank you.
Right.
Thank you. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot more difficult.
It ends. When does it end again?
I believe Tuesday.
Really, November 1st? I thought it was like November 13th.
November 4th. I think.
November 4th. Okay, I got to try and get a little bit more time in there to see if I can get a skin at least. Final game that came out this week that's reviewing really well is Wolfenstein 2: The New Order.
Mhm.
or not the New Order, the new
Colossus.
the Colossus or whatever it is, the new Colossus. The New Order was the first game. This is the sequel to the First Order.
You mean the New Order.
The New Order. This is a very. I mean, they are space Nazis.
Yeah, they are space Nazis.
But anyway, it reviewed really well. 89 for the PS4 version on Metacritic, 84 for the Xbox version on Metacritic. What?
I'm sorry, I just look out, it's Darth Hitler.
It's kind of what that's.
I know, but I'm
That's what
just
the
saying.
Emperor was.
I could see that in the game, and I think it'd be hilarious. Just someone dressed as Darth Vader coming around and just force choking people.
Yeah, well, this is an alternate reality thing, so Star Wars never happened actually in that one.
Because it's actually real in that one. Come on.
Yeah, so the game reviewed really well. They're saying it's one of the best shooters out there right now, which is not too surprising, but pretty cool.
Yeah.
They say I've heard people say it feels a lot like the Doom reboot, Doom remake, which is awesome because the Doom remake was sick.
Thank you, Bethesda.
Yes, and well, Bethesda also makes Wolfenstein.
Yep,
they own both properties.
Exactly.
And then there was also, because it came out, there was also a little bit of controversy with its final trailer, which I don't see the controversy because I don't think there should ever be controversy about killing Nazis in a video game because I think we can all agree on the fact that Nazis are jerks and they deserve to maybe not be killed, but they don't there shouldn't be a controversy about killing Nazis in a video game. Like Nazis are bad people. They are not fine people, which is what the trailer actually says.
May I have 1 second for this?
Okay.
Hey, people, just focus right here, okay? Listen to my voice. Why is this a big deal? We literally fought a war about this. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why it's so hard to understand, especially since this is a video game. Why are people making such a big stink? We had a literal war over these people being such terrible human